Okay, I got a question. How shitty do you think that was supposed to make us feel?
I don't know. It's framed in a weird way.
Thrown in the street.
It's framed in a weird way. It's exactly how I'd put it.
Who is this?
What's in his
I know
hands?
this brooch. This is my mother.
It's our sister!
Uh-oh! Ookie spooky!
I know that as soon as I get turned into a vampire by my sibling, I rise from the grave, murder someone in the street, and then just fucking chuck one of my precious belongings onto the corpse at high velocity.
I like how we don't bother to actually determine who this is. I want this game to turn into Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments now. We like do this this gets sealed off and we've got like, 200 square feet of gameplay space, so we just wander around asking witnesses stuff and
Okay, we keep talking about games we wish this was, but
Can I be of any
please,
assistance?
look me in the
Have you
eye
noticed anything
and tell me this game would not be
suspicious
so fucking badass if instead of all of the other game mechanics except conversations, it was just like Sherlock Holmes crime solving, but we're a vampire.
oh no, that'd be great. I want
That's
to ask this guy
honestly
about
what
his
I
life in
thought
London.
this game was.
Did you hear
Yeah.
what happened?
Right? Like, I thought that too, but I heard
may
that
as
it
well.
was an
It's a
RPG,
shame I wasn't around.
and it
to
was...
protect him.
It's impossible to protect
What
everyone.
what was Murdered Soul Suspect? Was that a
Seems
detective game or was that more of a
It
shooting game?
was it was a weird detective game. Okay, it had like
Kingdom was killed by a vampire.
it had like this Batman
These evil
Arkham
rodents
Right,
and
blah, blah, blah,
Origins style crime
Did you see
solving,
what
and then the rest of it was like
Yes.
stealth, but like
was
bizarre
thrown from the
stealth.
roof like a vulgar log.
It was kind of its own
a
thing.
vulgar, like a vulgar log, as opposed to a non-vulgar log.
Why is it that you sound so afraid?
You didn't see it. He was dead before he hit the
Murdered
ground.
Soul Spectre was a
The
weird
strength
game,
required
and
to do
it's
such a
like,
thing
in terms of its,
It
like,
beggars belief.
I would describe it as kind of like an orphan dead end.
Well, a
Like,
vampire,
there's
of course.
not really going to be a legacy of Murdered
Bite
Soul
marks on the neck,
Suspect. It did a bunch of
lacerations
things
here.
which were innovative in the sense that
There is
nobody done them quite like that
definitely a
before.
vampire close by.
And probably also in the sense that nobody's really going to do them quite like that again, because
Goodbye.
it turns out it wasn't
And
exactly
good
a hit.
hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
Hmm. So, how did the later,
What do you want?
the two sequels of Sherlock Holmes that have come out since Crimes and Punishments differ from Crimes and Punishments?
Did you
I
see
haven't
what
played
just
them
happened?
because no
No, I
one has
didn't.
proposed to tell me they were good.
Really? Why is that?
Because this sexist pig is one of the 4 men who blacklisted me.
Aren't they no
okay.
longer available because of the IP crap?
No, they're available right now.
Well, I'll leave you for now.
That
Goodbye,
whole
Miss
Frogwares
Baxter.
thing's very complicated.
Yeah. Where's the other person? Can we ask you?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Can I help you?
I wasn't
haven't
actually-
before.
I think I own them. I think I own all the Sherlock Holmes
about you?
games. Like, I bought them all.
Working outside at night in this dangerous part of town.
I definitely have at least the most recent
money.
one.
And I'm Lottie Paxton, by the way.
I feel like we
Yeah,
were supposed to have this intro conversation before we met her right next to a dead body that had been murdered and then thrown off a 3-story building.
That's
she's normally cleaning
normal.
up.
No. I was coming back to the shelter from work.
The streets were not clean. They were the dirty place where the garbage was, and the bodies.
You saw nothing at all.
That's, who needs to bury anyone?
Just that awful woman scream.
A woman scream. Are you sure?
Of course. It was terrifying.
It's your
But it was
sister.
my sister, so I ran. But it was a man I've never seen round here before.
You know, I have to say though, like if I knew I was in a scripted narrative, it would help me narrow down who someone is when stuff happens so
As long as I
much.
have good legs, I can run away from trouble.
Because it can't be someone you don't know, right? Like it would have to be someone established early
I
on.
don't want to lose that.
Well, assuming that you're close to the protagonist and not
Are
just
you
some
homeless,
rando.
Miss Paxton?
Mr. Hampton's night asylum is our new
I am
home now.
assuming I'm the
It's a safe
protagonist.
place for me and my sister.
That is not
That's
a smart assumption to make,
What
Chris.
can you tell me?
Okay,
about
but
this?
I just like I haven't actually been
Name
following
of
the
Sean
Sherlock Holmes
Hampton,
Chapter
the
1
sad
game that
saint
they're
of the
developing,
East End.
but I just went
Gave
on the
me
store
shelter.
page and they've got a big
But he's
thumbnail
not
for like a
always
trailer,
sad.
which has a an image here, which
Can you
I'm
tell me about
guessing is Mary the elephant,
often?
and that's a really
Maybe
deep
okay
cut.
for a strong girl like me, but a dandy doctor from the city like yourself.
Very-
Is
Mary's
Mary
like-
the elephant the one that was
Watch your back,
electrocuted?
Mr. Reed.
No, Mary was hanged.
You really think
Oh.
I
How do you hang an
go back
elephant?
to a safer place?
They with like a
No.
big crane dropping her
you
off a
better
cliff. It
stay
took like
and
2
help
attempts.
Oh, no,
Jesus,
don't
why
talk
are-
about
why is
this.
this a
Boat boys. Those bastards.
Because it killed someone. I mean, it was
Which
totally the
local
fault
dangers
of
must
everyone
have
but the
Well,
elephant.
The
But
gangs, the thieves, the drunks, the jobless. A man with your fancy clothes will attract a lot of attention.
Again,
Well, I am not
are these
someone
fancy? I guess they're kind of fancy.
Glad to hear that. And if you get into trouble...
Yeah, I
you
mean, we
always
already
seek help
fight
at
everybody
Shorthampton
whenever we're
shelter.
trying to go anywhere
No one
anyway,
would dare
so...
to be violent there.
Alright, let's...
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Okay. So, this guy... This guy is... in the
Out and to the left. and
purple
just over
district that is not actually labeled. We should probably rest soon, because I'm also curious about what happened to Sean Hampton, but should we, like, do any more medicine stuff?
there. I think we need to keep moving.
Everybody in this district seems
Yeah,
okay.
let's keep moving. It's fine. They're good. That's yeah.
So next time we get the opportunity to...
Look, I think it's time we acknowledge that we're not
here we
really
go.
a doctor. We are a farmer. And the thing about being a farmer is you don't invest more time in your crops.
Oh
than
no,
you
a
need to.
murder.
Well, that's the thing, though, is we are, what, 9-ish hours into this game? 7 hours, something like that? And we haven't actually killed anybody yet. And anybody, like, for blood. I mean, like, we've killed a lot of people. But
Right. We haven't done the thing yet. Is that an inevitability that we will?
Wait, can we get multiple
no, you can
alternates?
totally do a peaceful run. Well, peaceful air quotes, like human peaceful, not vampire hunter and skull peaceful.
Man, there was a moment where there was a document, like a developer document for this game, that would have been really rad. That I would have really liked.
Yes.
Kind of want to make it, actually. You could make the version of this game I want in Twine, or like, I don't know, maybe, fucking let's see.
There's...
You could make a Renpy vampire, like Vampyr, alternate reality version.
Yes.
You know, I will say this would make a really good TV show. Like, I feel like you could make this a show very easily.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Okay, let's do this.
Because you have the background narrative of, like, Reed is a vampire who's searching for who turned him, what's going on with his sister and his family. You got those, like, big main core lore-related episodes. But then also it's a Mystery of the Week vampire stuff about dealing with Sean Hannity, Sean Hampton. We could also deal with Sean Hannity. It's
really?
fine.
Yeah, but yeah, you just read the costumes and the barbers from Peaky Blinders for like 2 months. You knock out a season, put it on Netflix. Netflix cancels it.
Womp womp.
But yeah, you're right. Like, this has the format and the storyline and like the characters for that kind of like slightly by the numbers period drama.
It's basically just letting you know what happened. So this would be like Sad Saint goes insane or whatever, or Sad Saint disappears, but instead it's like, hey, he's actually trying to do help because he's a good pastor thing. I don't know what the name.
Sean Hampton is so... I'm just going to get to the end of this here. Sean Hampton is so respected that people still stay in his shelter, even after the Sad Saint contracted a mysterious disease which forces him to rest a lot and take his meals away from his flock. While in some other parts of London, people step back as soon as someone coughs in public. Men and women accept to eat and sleep in Hampton Asylum. It's the safest place in the East End docks. The building looks dirty, the stench around the place is awful for a delicate soul, but there is hope and love there, and the death toll has been low and stable for days. EW.
Good old Entertainment Weekly,
Cool.
giving us the news.
I'm gonna have to heal people in the hospital soon.
I think there needs to be a rule that, like, if you're making a video game that has, like, newspapers in it, they have to be
Oh,
shitty
Whitechapel's up
tabloids.
the stable, though.
That's the stuff we did like last time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're juggling our responsibility.
It does seem like you don't necessarily need to, like, heal every single person.
No,
Well,
and you don't
actually,
need to
let me check
obsess over it.
just quickly to see what we can craft with what we have, so I know what resources we need to be looking for. Yeah, okay, so... to
We can
make
also buy
the
things, remember.
purples, we're going to need a lot. Yeah, particularly codeine and potassium, PIM. And we should probably get some more opium. Alright, let's go. Now that it's been an entire 24 hours since that dude was murdered, let's go track down the killer.
I like that there's a train that goes by.
There were trains... You may not know this, Chris, but trains did exist in the 1910s.
No, I'm saying I like the detail. I'm not saying, like... I'm not snarkily saying that there's an anachronism. I'm saying that, like, oh, it's cool that there's, like, a little bit of animation and life to the city, because other than the people that inhabit it, it's largely empty and dead. You're gonna have to talk to the page boy here.
How rad would it be if Sherlock Holmes just came over and kicked our ass?
Page boy, you say?
Page boy,
This
guy with a thing, whatever.
I think there'd be a lot of people that would pay to see something like that.
I have read cover to cover Sherlock Holmes versus Dracula.
No.
Who wins?
Batman.
I would argue Sherlock Holmes wins.
You said Sherlock
Batman
versus
wins.
Dracula. I heard Sherlock's versions of Dracula, and I didn't realize that... I was picturing Arthur Conan Doyle writing Dracula fiction as if he was Sherlock Holmes.
Alright, see you later.
No. There was when the Dracula movie came out in, like, I think, like, the late 20th century, an author wrote a Dracula versus Sherlock Holmes story predicated mostly on the fact that Sherlock Holmes physically resembles Dracula in, like, their descriptions, and so maybe they're related.
Let them fight.
Also, Moriarty and... Sorry, no. Also, Holmes and Mycroft had a secret third sibling who turned into a vampire.
I have to say, I love that Josh checked the map, realized that his goal was the other way, and just turned the fuck around and let them hash it out. This is none of my business. This is between these people and this werewolf.
Let's just live it in the city for you. You know, you gotta figure out when it's your problem and when it isn't.
If I ever go to London, I'm gonna have a very twisted view of what to expect at this point.
I don't know. I mean, if you go right now, you would have a pretty accurate idea of what to expect.
Yeah, this is a travel guide. 2018's travel guide to 2020 London after you sneak out of the US somehow. Because you can't go to London right now.
Really looking forward to taking a vacation sometime in 2024.
Now is the time to explore your own state or province.
Now is the time to explore my own apartment. The state of my apartment. Which is, let's be honest, pretty lurid at this point.
Oh wow, it's just open.
What's in there for me?
This looks
Actually,
that's a little quaint.
I've actually never
And-
left the country. I've never even left the continental United
Busted.
States.
And
So you've not
you
been to,
won't
like,
be
Hawaii or-
anytime soon because every
Yeah,
country
that was-
doesn't want you.
Yeah, I mean, I was kicking myself for not like getting a passport, but boy, that would have been a waste of time.
I had to get a passport not too long ago at my and finally put to rest my mom's insistence that I get one, and now I can't go anywhere with it anyway. So,
Well, you can put it in a book in like a drawer with like a Nerf gun and a bunch of denominations pretend you're a spy.
And dragged through the street.
I do have some Dominican Republic pesos around here somewhere. Is there anything down here we need to look at? No?
Just stuff you can loot.
Wait,
No, we
why
have to
does
go
this
find the
guy
body.
have a fucking... Oh, it's a calendar. Okay. I was like, why do they have a war poster? Did people really put that stuff in their house?
I mean,
Need
it
some
was
renovation.
a nation at war.
True.
Yeah.
Almost as tacky as the amount of different kinds of wallpaper in this house.
Is it not hypocritical if you are like an eligibly aged male to have a war poster in your house where you just put her on like, yeah, go soldiers. You're a really cool guy.
Yeah. Especially if you're like mid to upper class. Alright, so we got a blood trail.
Can
Oh,
you
there
buy
was a
your way out
blood
of the
trail in the
draft
house the whole
in
time.
Can you buy your way out of the draft in London?
I thought you were
Like,
kind
you
of
buy your way out of the
expected
draft
to
in
like
Civil
be
War?
an officer.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
if you're
know.
if you're an aristocrat, you would you wouldn't be like I don't know actually. I'm basing this entirely on like pop culture. I don't know anything about like English World War I history.
Can we open this?
Like thanks to the fact that I had to review On Guard, I know more about like 17th century English militaries.
You hear me? Clap the nuts, boys!
What's on guard?
On Guard is an extremely fascinating role-playing game, which, depending on how you rate it, is like the second RPG ever made. Like, it came out, I think, the year after Dungeons & Dragons was first released to a very small audience. And it is absolutely nothing like pretty much any game before or since. It's very weird. It's pretty much a sim, is the way you would, like, think of it more than anything. It's like kind of like a... No, it's like, you know Sid Meier's Pirates, like the original one, was kind of just like, you'd pick menu options to like simulate a life of piracy. On Guard was that, but just being like a 17th century fuckboy.
Blood. Whoever was
Oh, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, just like kind of like living off daddy's money, or a lack of daddy's money if you roll poorly on the birth circumstance tables. Which there are like 2 or 3 different tables you need to roll on, which could determine your allowance. Like trying to cavort with mistresses, getting into duels, like trying to toady along to clubs that your social standing doesn't let you get into. And then randomly, the game has the most like hilariously, gloriously, outrageously overcomplicated mini game, which is more complicated than the regular game, for when you get like either drafted or you enlist in the in a regiment, or you purchase an officer's commission, where you have to stop and simulate the actions of literally an entire army on campaign.
Occasionally, you make a good point. We're being misled. Or worse, we're being baited by leeches playing...
And I was
Hey
just,
guys,
like,
what's up?
It's one of the most complicated and indecipherable documents I've ever read, and this is my thing. Like, this is my shtick.
Gonna stun him. You gonna do it? Oh, you did it!
I had actually done it. But
While he's doing this, I'm just gonna, or whenever there's a lull, I'm just gonna read off quotes from the military combat rules in On Guard.
Yes.
A player from each regiment should roll once each game year to determine if one of the two majors is serving as a brigade major. See military appointments table and appointment rules. On a roll of 1 through 3, the brigade major is from the 1st regiment of the brigade.
Oh, that's Pembroke.
And then the lieutenant colonel is now the acting regimental commander, since the colonel has been promoted to brigadier general and now serves elsewhere. See brevet rank table. Notice that this does not open up a position of colonel in the regiment, since his permanent rank is At the conclusion of each battle where there is a captain's vacancy, roll 2 dice on the personal outcome table to see if a subaltern is promoted into that slot. There are 10 officers above the rank of subaltern in each regiment. There are an unlimited number of subalterns and privates for the purposes of the game. Upon joining a regiment, each player should make a chart.
Oh.
It's important to mention that because of the way this game is structured, you could have anywhere between 4 and 20 people at your table playing, and literally only one of them could be in a regiment. And you would need to stop and do all of this every single round of play. Yeah, unsurprisingly, people who still play this game, and there's a lot of people who still play this game, play it by mail or like on internet forums like once a month.
Hold on, mail?
Yeah, by mail, still.
Wow.
Like not email. You mean like?
I mean, people do it by
US
email
Postal
and on forums,
Service.
but yeah, people also do it by the U.S. Postal Service.
My family.
Wild.
I guess it feels more immersive that way.
Wait, what did he say?
This is the very flower my mother tossed on Mary's coffin.
This isn't Mom,
Someone
right?
is targeting my family.
I'm gonna assume that's not the case.
For anybody who's interested in more on guard information, I have a post on Trollman Hammer, the Sword, Sex, and Military Bureaucracy RPG of 1975.
Should we take the watch?
Leave the watch. That's my vote, but you guys decide.
You're sure?
No, I'm not sure.
You
I don't
seem
make
to.
these decisions.
You know about future events.
Didn't we have a conversation about whether you should take the watch?
We were talking about going back and getting the watch from the grave that we got buried at.
Isn't that this watch?
I don't know. Maybe.
Just leave the watch. We don't want to steal a watch. Do you want to steal a watch?
Are
No,
you?
You don't want to steal it.
Isn't it supposed to be like we're gonna take it? It's gonna be ours, isn't it? Though.
Look, y'all make your decisions. You choose your life choices.
Are you
We're not gonna
basing
steal.
this on future
Why?
knowledge?
Why would we steal a watch? For what? For what purpose?
We're gonna get Jean Valjean, or no, fuck, Javert. Never mind, I ruined the joke. Fuck it.
Leave the watch. Just leave the watch.
All right, leave the watch.
Her shoes and clothes are quite worn out.
It would be very tacky to take the watch, even if we thought it would be useful in solving
Extremely.
this crime.
Morally dubious.
Oh, is that the game fact?
Oh.
Pro moral strats.
Right then.
Don't take the watch.
It's a sick game. But given no choice in the matter, I might as well win it.